Hi, and welcome to Good News with Kev and Danielle. We're here at Greenbelt Church in the studio, and we're so glad that you're joining us today. This is our second episode.
Number 2.
And so here we are. It's our February episode. We started in January. And that kind of speaks to some of the colors you're seeing and so the flowers.
It's the love month.
The love month.
The love
exactly.
month.
And so, a little bit about the show. We want to be real people in the community talking about real issues, but with real solutions. Mm-hmm. And so today it gives us a great opportunity to talk about the real love of Christ. And so, but we're gonna start off with a few fun stories.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because we want to have some fun.
Well, important to know, if you don't know this already, we're a married couple.
Yes, so we're married. Mm-hmm. And so Valentine's Day, there's a lot of pressure to get that right.
Sure, I can see that.
Okay. And then a couple of weeks after Valentine's Day, then we have our wedding anniversary.
Yes.
So
double whammy
on
February.
me. So you got to get these, two events just right. So you guys, you relate to this. I know. Why are you looking at me like that?
I just think it's funny.
I'm in trouble again.
No, you're not.
I'm not in trouble.
I just think it's funny because you're saying like it's really hard for guys, but girls have to get this right too, don't they?
I don't know if the pressure is on. Maybe nowadays it might be, it's seen as a little bit more equal, but definitely when we first got together, 23, 24 years ago, there was definitely a lot more pressure on that. So do you remember our very first Valentine's Day?
Our very first Valentine's Day. Yes.
Dating, not married. Dating.
Yes, I remember it well.
Yeah, where did we spend it?
We spent it in your parents' pickup truck or whatever. Not pickup truck. What was that?
In the back of their, in the back of their Ford
Escort. No,
not an Escort.
Ford
Explorer.
Ford Explorer. That was it.
So that just sounded really awkward. But my parents were there too. We spent our very first Valentine's Day as a dating couple driving to Nashville, Tennessee with my parents.
That was fun.
We were going to visit my sister who lives down in Nashville. And we spent 18 and a half hours in the car with my folks.
And I think this was my first time actually having a boyfriend at Valentine's Day. So it was different.
It was different. Yeah. So it was a little difficult, a little awkward. And my parents are awesome. My mom and my stepdad, they're great. But, they like to tease and welcome the new people into the family. And I guess there was some testing going on to see if Danielle really fit in, to see if she'd really last, So you're in the back.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
We're in the back seat. And when you're driving, how many hours?
It's like 18 and a half hours.
18 and a half hours. And your stepdad wants to
just
go.
Gun it.
Like Adrian, he's just
drive,
keep
just
going.
Get there.
Don't stop unless you absolutely have to.
Yeah.
So I think at one point I was kind of nudging you. Kev, I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, so she was too shy to say she needed a pit stop, right? So she's asking me to say that, hey, we need to pull over, sometime soon. And so basically it was like, well, we need to pull over sooner rather than later.
And Adrian's like, well, how soon? And I said, well, I need to probably go within half hour or so.
Yeah, so an hour and a half later.
I'm not sure it was an hour and a half later.
But it probably felt that way for you.
It did. But it definitely was well beyond a half an hour. And if you knew what this man looked like, you would know why I'm feeling a little bit insecure and threatened. And
He's a big teddy bear.
He's a big teddy bear. I know that now. But then, if you think of
Grizzly Adams. Or no. Odin. So if you've seen the Marvel Cinematic movies, with Thor, so Thor's father, Odin. So think Odin minus the armor and minus the eye patch.
But just as scary.
That's my dad. Yeah.
Not anymore. He is a big teddy bear.
But that's what he looks like.
But anyhow, when finally I mustered up the courage to ask, are we stopping soon? I literally felt like I was,
it was brutal.
And he said, no, we're in the or so time right now. I'm like, what? He's like, you told me you needed 30 minutes or so. We're in the or so. Yeah. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to.
Yeah. Well, and that's when we knew Danielle was a keeper. and that she could, tough out anything and would really fit in with the rest of us. So
Yeah.
that was our first Valentine's Day as a dating couple. Then we had our first Valentine's Day as a married couple.
Oh.
Okay, so now Danielle right now serves as a chaplain here in our community. Danielle has always had a heart to care for people, always, as long as I've known you.
That's
Right?
true. Yeah,
'Cause
I've always been in the helping profession.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
when we first started dating, you were still in school. You were studying, special care and counseling. She would be working with, people with intellectual disabilities and help. She was always helping people, right? But every time we would go somewhere or go to a bookstore, she would always be like, "Oh, I wish I had money to buy this book. Oh, I wish I could buy this resource. Oh, I wish I could get this." Right? 'Cause she was always looking to grow and better herself
Yeah.
to help people. So our first Valentine's Day as a married couple, I remembered every single book that she wanted, every, help book that she wanted, ways to grow and to improve and to provide more care and support for people. I put it all in a big basket.
It was a beautiful
It was
basket.
a beautiful basket. So it probably had about 20 self-help books. Now you guys are sitting there going, or actually the guys are like, "That sounds great. I don't see what the problem is." And all you women are watching this going, "Kevin, seriously?" Right. I didn't know. Okay. So
I got a whole giant basket full of self-help books for Valentine's Day.
yeah, it was a great present.
It was not a great present.
And
We
so
can laugh about that now.
we can laugh about this 23 years or 22 years later that we've been married, but oh, what a day that was. Like, you were devastated thinking that these were all the areas that I thought she needed to change and all that she was codependent, that she was an alcoholic, like all these things that she wanted to read about to help other people. She kind of put that on herself thinking that's what I thought of you as.
Right.
And then I said, no, look, there's flowers in here too, and there's bubble bath in here too, and there's the Best of Chicago CD.
Oh, I like Chicago.
That was one of your favorite bands at the time. There was chocolate. Like, it was this whole romantic thing. But it was just all the self-help books. So that's February, the love month. Hopefully this was beneficial to somebody. Anyway, so we're going to turn over to our next segment now. And what we've been doing here at Good News with Kev and Danielle is just interviewing different people who serve in our community. And this week, we're really excited to have a school teacher with us today. Evelyn Mugarura is married to one of our staff members here, Paul, who handles all of our worship ministry. He's our associate pastor of worship here at the church. And so really excited to have her kind of share her perspective as a teacher, because, I mean, everyone's jobs have been up and down for the past 11 months. All of us. No one's been immune from that.
No.
But boy, teachers have really had to kind of
They've
juggle.
had to adapt on a dime.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And not only have the teachers had to adapt, but so did families. So families with children in elementary school really had to adapt. And so we also have Evelyn and Paul's daughter, Chloe Mugarura, joining us as well to give her perspective as a student and how she's seen that play out in her family. So without further ado, let's turn it over to that interview.
Great. Well, we're so glad you guys are here. Thanks so much for joining us. And, Kevin just introduced you guys. And so one question I have is, what is it like to live with a rock star?
It's very cool because then you get to hear a lot of music.
Awesome.
So much music in our house. We love it.
Yeah.
We love it.
I love
Yeah.
that you guys did not even argue that he's a rock star. Love it.
Yeah.
You laughed a little, but yeah, that was great.
No, it is. Again, thank you so much for being here and being part of our show this month. Really appreciate it. Obviously, it's been a crazy year, for your family, and it's been a crazy year for your profession as a teacher and being a student. So just as we kind of start our time off together, maybe you could just share some of the perspectives of the needs that you've seen of the students kind of during this kind of pandemic that we've been living in.
Mm.
Well, some of the needs of the students is like being in a space where they don't need to wear masks and still be with their friends, because for me, I need to be with other friends, and for a bunch of my other classmates, they have to be with their friends and family without having to wear masks and without having to be socially distant.
So that's affecting you socially, is not being able to be with your friends really face to face.
Yeah, it affects a lot of kids because we're still learning the social needs of life and all of those things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think along with that, as a teacher and as a parent, the mental health of kids has just been a huge thing this year. In recent years, it's something that we focused on a lot as teachers, but especially now with, as Chloe said, a lot of the struggles of having to wear a mask, not being able to socialize with people the same way. At school, you have to sit in your desk separated from everyone. You can't chat at lunchtime the way that you used to be able to. And so just having to give kids a lot of support through that and to support their mental health. So.
Okay. And so how have you guys been trying to address those needs? Again, whether at school or even in your own family?
Yeah. So in school, as a teacher, I've changed so much about the way that I teach this year. I'll do daily or weekly check-ins. Usually on Fridays, we just talk about how we're feeling, how has the week been. I spend a lot more time outside with my class. It's a little easier earlier in the year because we just take our towels or yoga mats and sit outside and do learning just to get some fresh air, to be around the trees. Now it's harder with having to put on snow gear.
Right.
And it is a lot of work. You have no idea, to get 25 kids in and out of the school with all their stuff on and separated. So, but we still spend a lot of time outside in the morning. I've increased gym to about an hour in the morning. So we just play outside, run around, make stuff in the snow, different design challenges. So do a lot of stuff like that, and a lot of just reading together, reading books for fun with the class, having lots of moments to laugh. I think that's really important too. I love laughing with my class, and together as a family, we love doing that too. So yeah.
Oh, that's great. Thank
Great.
you.
And you've talked a few things already about kind of what I would see as resiliency kind of showing up. Talking about laughing, talking about, doing some things like going outside and kind of coping in that way. How has your class, actually both of your classes, you as a student, Chloe, and you as a teacher, Evelyn, how have your classes each been showing resiliency or been coping with this pandemic?
Well, I'll talk more about the class, and then I think Chloe's going to talk about how our family has been.
Sure, that'd be great.
So I think the kids have really stepped up, I find, this year. Being able to wear their masks all day, being able to find ways to be with friends, but not. Chloe went to a birthday party earlier this year on Zoom, which is kind of cool. We've done e-cards for birthdays and watched happy birthday videos because we can't sing. So I think in the classroom, the kids are getting really good at being creative to find different ways to interact with each other and to still have a lot of fun, because I think that's pretty important in the class. You want to share about our family?
Yeah, our family has been doing a lot of reading, a lot of going outside for walks, and see nature in its process. We've also been, doing a bunch of exercise, Just Dance, or one of our favorite games, Ring Fit.
Ring Fit, I think you told me about that one. That's so
Yes.
fun.
You got that for Christmas. We haven't taken it out of the box yet.
Okay, what's the first game I should try on Ring Fit?
I'd suggest doing the thigh rider.
The thigh rider?
Because you have to work your thighs in pushing in and out.
So yeah, that would be really good just to keep things moving. Thank you. I appreciate that suggestion.
Yes.
Great. So you guys have been coping and thriving as best you can as a family and doing new things. That's so great. And I think a lot of parents, we're parents of teenagers, one that's in grade 12, one that's already in college. But I think this year has been a hard year for parents to figure out what to do with their kids when they're, having to do school from home, or having to, figure out, on days, off days, and the whole weird schedule of how things are right now. So what would you say, Evelyn, are your top kind of tips for parents these days during the pandemic?
So I'd say set up a routine as best you can. That would be the first thing. Sometimes it's hard, and school is so routine. kids are very, they adjust really well. They might say they don't like the routine and the rules and the following it, but I find kids settle in really well when there's a routine. So setting that up when you can. And on the flip side of that, I think finding moments to have fun as well. So outside of the routine, doing something different and not sitting at a computer, but doing something together as a family. So going for a walk downtown, going sledding, just doing silly fun things, playing a board game together, just spending time together as a family and building that relationship with your kids, I think is really important.
Great.
Getting in touch with other parents as well, to do stuff, obviously following the protocols and everything, but having fun together outside. I'd say too, as a tip, work with your child's teacher. I find sometimes parents are a little unsure. Should I email the teacher? Should I talk to them? I don't really understand about this. Teachers are very happy to work together with you. They love your kid. They want to help them as much as they can. And the easiest way to do that is if you work together. And I think my sort of last, if I'm giving 5 teacher tips, is maintaining a positive attitude for your family. As parents, just letting your kids know this is temporary. It might be a long time. It might last a lot longer than we think. But I think if you model a positive attitude as parents, then it trickles down to your kids.
That's really good. And I'm hearing, like you're kind of bringing in as much normalcy as possible in a time that is not normal, right?
Yeah.
And so just trying to keep that routine going as best as possible. That's really good advice. Thank you for that. And then what would you guys say are the best words of encouragement you can share with students during this time?
I've been telling my classmates that it's going to be just a little longer. It's not going to be like this forever.
Right.
If we're going to have to keep wearing our masks, I know it's difficult, but it's the only way to keep us all safe from the virus and to keep it from spreading through schools. Because if one class gets it, then if one student in my class gets it, my family would have to go into quarantine. My entire class would have to shut down. We wouldn't be seeing each other for 2 weeks.
So it almost sounds like you're being a cheerleader for the rest of the students and your friends anyway. So just a good positive influence for your peers. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Great.
I would say too, if I had a word of encouragement to give to parents, and I have said this in so many parent interviews, this is usually the thing I start with, is you're doing the best you can. We're all doing the best that we can, and it's great to try and do new things and to hold to those, but just realizing in those moments, take a deep breath, get a drink of water, just let it go and move on. We're doing the best we can. So
keep moving forwards.
That's great advice, because we've noticed that too. There's no handbook that's been written for how to deal with this, right? We're all making it up. Everyone's trying to do their best, and whether it's in the education system, in the church, out in the community as a chaplain, we're all just doing that. So I think that's great advice for everybody, for sure.
In 20 years from now, we're all going to be looking back in 2020 and we'll just laugh.
That's it.
On what happened.
I think you're probably right. Yeah.
Well, maybe Evelyn, if you wanted to just share with us, what have been some of your highlights as a teacher, and whether that's from this year or from all the years that you've been teaching?
I would say in terms of for this year, I've gotten to know my students in a different way. There have been challenges with having to do things online or whatever, but also it's been really cool. We did a bring your pet to class day because everyone was at home. And so we just spent probably an hour, took a really long time for everyone to show us their pets. One of the pets was a baby brother. Didn't see that coming, but it's fascinating to see the kids sharing about their lives like that, and just this year for sure. I mean, I've always tried to get to know my students and had them share things, but we're sharing in a very different way, I guess, this year. They've done a lot more presentations where they bring in something personal from their lives and get to share that. So, yeah, that's been really cool, being able to do that. So,
That's so great.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Are there any ways that you would see there's an overlap for the church and the school to work together? And if so, like, what are your thoughts on that, Evelyn?
Yeah, absolutely. I think schools really have their finger on the pulse of families in the community. In the church, I find, you see the people that come, and if you have some outreach programs, you might see some of the others. But especially in public school, we have all the kids who are in the neighborhood are coming. And so we really are in touch with the needs. Our school has done so many different things. We were just talking today, a couple years ago, we had a kid who didn't have lunches. And so one of the teachers brought in a bread maker. Another teacher brought in lunch meat every week. And so we made fresh bread so that those kids could have sandwiches. Wow. A student's house burned down one year and had to leave our school and move to a different neighborhood. But we still pulled together money and sent it to the family to help them begin to rebuild their lives. We have kids who may not be able to make it to school every day, and so we sort of have a check-in if we haven't seen them. One of the office administrators will drive to their house and pick up the kid and bring them to school. Wow. We provide snowsuits in the winter and like specifically to specific families from the food drive and stuff. And so there's so many things that we're able to do as a school just because we know exactly what the needs are. And so I think, and I know that the church is often trying to do some of those kind of similar things. So I think, those can overlap if they're working together. So I think too, sometimes in the church, there's a sense because of the, maybe not more. So because of some of the conservative values of the church, that there's often an animosity toward public school and public school teachers, that there isn't a lot of understanding. And so I think that sometimes people in the church can tend to look at the schools and kind of be like, oh no, that just have a bit of animosity, whether it's overt or not. And I think that as the church, encouraging parents and other members of the church to say, the school is doing amazing things, public school teachers, we have some of them who work here or who are, a part of our church community, and they're just like everyone else, trying to instill values in the kids, trying to get them to be wonderful citizens and responsible and caring. And so I think sometimes even just that is another way that the church can advocate for schools, by just speaking positively in that light about them. So
that's really great advice. And I think that's so crucial and so important. And it's been one of the, if you can almost say, one of the blessings of this past year is that it has created a lot more opportunities to have conversations with people that we wouldn't have normally had conversations with, and to build those relationships, because we were all in this together and we were all trying to encourage and care for one another during it. So that's really great.
That was such a great interview. It's always awesome chatting with Chloe and Evelyn, and I was really glad we got a chance to do that.
Yeah, and it's so great just talking to different people from the community and just learning from each other. It's just awesome. I love it. Yeah. So we're now kind of getting ready to wrap up the show. So this is kind of the final segment. And to be honest, we haven't found a really cool name yet to call this segment. We were like looking at trending. What were some of the ideas we had?
We started off with what's trending.
What's trending, but sometimes it might not be actually trending, and reel's real, and
real
feel good real. And so basically we're just looking at
good giggles,
some trending videos, some popular videos on social media, and we're just going to comment on it and just share a good laugh together. So why don't we just have a little contest?
Sure.
If you know a good name for this final segment of the show, put it in the comments, send that to us. And if you win, we'll just give you credit for it. Because we don't have any budget. We don't have any prizes, but we'll put your name on it.
Perfect.
All right. Okay. So we're going to kind of spin the wheel and we're going to see what we're going to watch.
All right. Here we go.
And spin. All right. Can you read that?
Well, no, I can't, but you better.
Okay, so I got the better eyesight. Yeah. So it says, Queen's Guards make little boy's birthday wish come true.
Oh.
Okay.
Let's see what this is.
It's kind of reminiscent of my old
Your old what?
my British roots.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, I have British roots too.
There we go. All right. I think I'd look so good in one of those hats.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, so we're marching.
We're marching.
That's good.
Left, right, left, right, left. Oh, the little dude saluting them.
Aw.
That's so cute.
Aw. Okay.
He got the hat. Oh, he's got the hat on too
Aw.
and the uniform. That's so cute. Now these guys, they take their job pretty seriously,
They
right?
do.
These are like the guys that are normally like in front of Buckingham Palace, and
Yeah.
they don't.
I don't think
kind
they're
of
supposed to
acknowledge or
like come
talk
out
or
of
anything.
character or any. I mean, not
Yeah.
that they're in character, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, check it. Oh.
Oh my goodness, he's so cute. Aw. It's his birthday dream.
That's awesome.
Little buddy. Aw.
That's very
that was really
cute.
cute.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, little kids are cute.
They always are.
Always are. There we go.
Speaking of good news,
Yeah.
what are you preaching on this week?
Well, we're still in looking at Luke's gospel. So we're going back to the basics of the Christian faith because, I mean, as the church, we say we're the hands and feet of Jesus. So it's kind of a good idea to study what Jesus did and study what Jesus taught so that we can actually do what he told us to do.
Awesome.
That's what we're kind of focusing on right now.
Great. Well,
That's-
we'll look forward to that. And if you see in the chat and in the notes, you'll be able to figure out how to come and join us. Hopefully, we'll see you on Sunday morning, our time, Ottawa, at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Great.
Exactly. And if there's any way we can connect with you, just put it in the comments. And we would just love to be able to connect with you here in the community. And until the next time, God bless.
God bless.